Hello everyone and welcome back to Server IT. In today's video, we will learn how to configure VLANs. So we're going to configure access ports, trunking ports, and inter VLAN using a router. So these are topology. We have 6 computers with 3 VLANs, VLAN 10, 20, and 30, with the subnets 172.16.5.0 for VLAN 10, 172.16.5.16 for VLAN 20, and 172.16.5.32 for VLAN 30. All of them with 28 mask. So let's start. First, we need to create our VLANs. So the command will be VLAN plus the VLAN ID. In this case, I'm going to create VLAN 10. Let's add a name for VLAN 10. That would be, let's put sales. Then VLAN 20, name, HR, VLAN 30, that would be IT department. And let's create our native VLAN. Let's use VLAN 50, right? Native. So now if I want to check the VLANs that I just created, I use the command to show VLAN brief. Great. So perfect. So this is a black hole that I created before, just in case that we want to assign all inactive, right, unused interfaces to that interface and then shut them all. So, but we will not do that in this lab. So now we need to assign the PC ports to the corresponding interface. I mean, to the corresponding VLAN. So let's go to interface gigabit 1. So in this case, we need to configure the access mode, right, for all PCs. That will be switch port mode access, right? Now I can assign the VLANs or the ports to the corresponding VLAN with the command switch port access VLAN plus the VLAN ID. Great. So if I run again the command to show VLAN brief, I will see that the port belonging to the PC1 now is assigned to the VLAN 10. So we need to do the same with the remaining ports. So let's go to 1.2 mode access VLAN. In this case, would be VLAN 10. Okay, so I made a mistake for one, because it's supposed to go to, right, to VLAN 30, not VLAN 10. Okay, so let's go to 2. Okay, this case, it would be VLAN 10. Okay, there we go. Access VLAN 20. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now that we have configured our access ports with the corresponding VLAN, we need to configure our trunking ports that goes, right, to gigabit, right, to S3. But let's do it for the end, basically. So let's continue configure access port in the remaining switches. So let's create VLAN 10. That would be for sales, VLAN 20. That would be HR, and VLAN 30 IT. Now let's go to gigabit switch port or access, switch port access VLAN. In this case, that would be VLAN 10 in this case. VLAN 20. And VLAN 30. Okay, so I forgot to create our native VLAN, right? Okay, so we created our VLANs and also configured the access ports. Now, we need to configure, right, the tracking ports, but before doing so, we need to disable DTP. I mean, after we configure tracking ports. So this is, this should be like this. Okay, perfect. So now let's go from here. So in this case, I need to configure gigabit 00, right? And if you're using a layer 2 for the labs, or you're configuring your company, your business, right? A switch layer 2, the command would be switch port mode trunk. Now, I'm using a layer 3 switch, so it will not go through. So I need, right? I need to configure, even though, as we can see here, we need to configure the encapsulation. So that would be switch port trunk encapsulation do1q. This needs to be done for layer 3 switches. So then I can run the command switch port mode trunk, as we can see. Now that we have our trunking ports, we need to disable DTP, dynamic trunking protocol, that is a protocol for Cisco that by default is enabled, at least in the switch, right? So we need to disable it with the command switch port non-negotiate. Yeah, because it's in auto negotiation. That means that if another router is in mode trunk or has a dynamic desirable, right, can form the trunking ports, and that may not be a desired things that we want by then. So now we need to allow the VLANs that will go through the port 00 to S3. So we use the command switch port trunk allow VLAN, for example, VLAN 10, VLAN 20, right? And if I want to see those information, now I use the command to show interface, right? Interface brief to show, oh goodness, trunk, to show interface trunk. So here we can see that our gigabit 00 is in trunking status, right? We can see here that the native VLAN right now is VLAN 1 and the allowed VLANs on this trunking port. So now let's add VLAN 30 to the allowed VLAN. So if I put like here 30, it's going to overwrite and VLAN 10 and 20 will be removed and only VLAN 30 will be added. So if I want to add another VLAN, we use this parameter. And now if I go again, we can see that we added VLAN 30. So just in case that we want to like remove a VLAN, right? So we can add all, right? Remove the specific, none of them, or make exception. So we can do that. So now with basically the same command, switch port trunk, let's add the native VLAN to change it from VLAN 1 to VLAN 50 for a native VLAN. So that will be switch port trunk native VLAN 50 to show interface trunk. So here we can see that now VLAN 50 is our native VLAN. Okay, so also we notice VLAN brief. Okay, so the ports are assigned to the corresponding ports VLANs. We can see here the port gigabit 00 doesn't belong to any VLANs. So trunking ports don't belong to any VLAN because they carry the VLANs now. So okay, so let's go to S2, right? Gigabit 01 in this case. So switch port trunk encapsulation q, switch port mode trunk, and now switch port trunk allow VLAN 10, 20, and 30, switch port trunk native VLAN 15, and to show VLAN, right? VLAN brief. Okay, here we don't see port 01, and to show interface trunk, we can see there are native VLAN in 50 and 10, 20, and 30 VLANs are allowed in our trunking port. Okay, so let's now, right, switch port non-negotiate to remove DTP, right? We don't want it. Okay, so we are good now. Let's go to S3, right? And as I need to configure, let's create VLAN 10, right? Name, sales, VLAN 20, name, HR, and VLAN 30, name, IT. Oh, and VLAN 50 are native. Native. I will native. Okay, so now let me make sure that I configure right. I configure my native. Okay, yeah. Okay, so now as I need to configure right trunking ports in the 3 ports from gigabit 00 to gigabit 02, let's do a range, right? Interface range gigabit, right? From 00 to 02, right? That'll be 3 interfaces basically. So switch port trunk encapsulation do1q, switch port non-negotiate, right? Sorry, switch port mode trunk, right? Mode trunk. Okay, switch port non-negotiate. Great. Now let's set the VLAN switch port trunk allow VLAN 10, 20, and 30, and switch port trunk native VLAN 50. To show interface, nope, VLAN brief, right? In this case, we will not assign any access ports, but we need the VLANs to be created. We have a native VLAN. We see that from gigabit 00 to gigabit 02 are not listed here because they are carrying the VLANs. And to show interface trunk, so we can see here that we have 3 ports in trunking state. So carrying VLAN 10, 20, and 30 with the native VLAN as 50. Now that is completed. What is left now? We need to configure inter VLAN. So let's go to gigabit 00, right? Not shut. Let's enable, right? Our interface is up. And now we need to create the sub interfaces. So in this case will be interface gigabit, right? O dot plus, in this case, the VLAN ID. In this case will be VLAN 10. Great. So now that we create our sub interface for VLAN 10, if I do a do show IP interface brief, I will see there my gigabit 00.10 that belongs to that my sub interface that belongs to VLAN 10. So okay, so I learned that more stuff now, right? I just cleared the console. So now let's encapsulate, because we need to encapsulate as we did basically in the layer 3 switch. So okay, encapsulation number Q. In this case, 10 as is for my VLAN 10. So as we see here, it's gonna ask you for our VLAN ID. So that's why I did it. So now that my sub interface is prepared, right? Let's assign the IP address, which will be the gateway for VLAN 10. So will be IP address. In this case, would be sorry, 5.1 and 40. Great. Description. VLAN, let's say VLAN 10, right? So if I do a do show in IP interface brief, I will see there my IP address assigned. Okay, so now let's do the same, right, for the remaining For the remaining ones, VLAN 20, encapsulation, VLAN 20. In this case, would be the first one would be 17 and 20. 30 encapsulation, 30 IP address would be 33. Okay, so, and lastly, right, my native VLAN, just in case. So here, put native VLAN, native. So now that's my native. Okay, so let's do show IP interface brief. Okay, 10, 20, 30, 50, right? So, great, we are good. So now, okay, so we can close here. And for example, we can basically, let's open this. Well, okay, so as I have a DHCP configured in R1, let's run IP DHCP, and IP DHCP. Okay, so here I got 38, here I got 22, and here I got 6, right? So let's now pin, right? Let's pin, for example, 6. As I can see, I'm able to pin other computer in another subnet, right? If I pin, for example, let's see, 22. As I can see. Okay, so we can also console, right? Console and console for these. And we can run IP DHCP. They should get an IP, as we can see. Okay, I can pin, for example, from here. Let's say, yeah, this is PC6, VLAN 30. Let's pin PC2. As you can see, I'm able to pin different subnets. So that will be all for today. In case that you have any question, please leave it on comments. Please don't forget to subscribe if you like this type of content for education and for learning and stuff. So I'll see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.